In the darkest corners of Middle-earth, where the echoes of the One Ring still lingered, a new threat began to rise, stoking ancient fears that had been thought extinguished. Though Sauron was long defeated, his malevolent power had not been entirely vanquished. Whispers of darkness spread like wildfire across the land, reaching even the quietest corners of the world. Elwin, a young ranger living on the edge of the Grey Mountains, had heard tales of the One Ring since childhood, but he never imagined he would be drawn into its legacy. One fateful night, while patrolling the forest, he heard a deep, ominous whisper, like a voice from another world. The air grew unnaturally cold as he followed the sound, his every instinct urging him to turn back. But curiosity gripped him, and soon he discovered a hidden cave. Strange runes covered the walls, and the air within was thick with an unsettling energy. Deep inside, Elwin found a shard shrouded in black mist, an eerie fragment of the One Ring. When Elwin touched the shard, his mind was flooded with an image of Sauron's eye, its crimson pupil burning with an unholy fury. The whispers transformed into a sharp scream, "Take me back to Mordor." Elwin quickly withdrew his hand, but the voice was etched into his mind, impossible to forget. The shard had a power far beyond anything he had ever imagined, and Elwin knew at once that it could not be left alone. Its danger, Elwin made the perilous decision to travel to Rivendell and inform Lord Elrond of his discovery. His journey, however, would not be easy. Along the way, he encountered black-robed riders, remnants of Sauron's forces, who seemed to be hunting him. Their presence was suffocating, their cursed weapons capable of corroding the will of their victims. But just as the riders closed in, a group of dwarven warriors appeared, driving off the dark riders. Their leader, Bruno, seemed to recognize Elwin and demanded to know why he carried such a dangerous artifact. Elwin shared the story of his discovery, and Bruno's expression shifted from anger to concern. He revealed that similar whispers had been heard in the dwarven mines, driving many miners mad. The shard, it seemed, was reaching across Middle-earth, spreading chaos and fear. Bruno, unwilling to let such a power go unchecked, decided to join Elwin on his journey to Rivendell to warn the other races of the growing threat. Along their journey, the unlikely companions encountered Arya, an elven archer from Lothlorien, who had been sent by Galadriel to investigate the resurgence of Sauron's power. Arya was wary of the shard's influence, but she recognized the need for unity in the face of such darkness. Together, the three formed an uneasy alliance, their trust in one another growing as they faced ambush after ambush from the black-robed riders. The riders grew stronger, and Elwin began to feel the weight of the shard's temptation. During one battle, he was wounded by a cursed blade, and dark visions plagued his mind. He dreamt of himself wearing the One Ring and bending to Sauron's will. Doubts crept into his heart, and he feared he would not be able to resist the lure of the ring's power. Upon reaching Rivendell, Elrond convened a council of elves, dwarves, and men to discuss the discovery of the shard. It was unanimously agreed that the shard must be destroyed. However, its power was far too great for any earthly fire to melt it. Elrond proposed a perilous solution. They would journey to Mount Doom in Mordor, where the same fire that forged the One Ring could annihilate it once and for all. But this mission was fraught with danger, for the shard would constantly tempt its bearer to embrace its dark power. After fierce debate, Elwin, Bruno, and Arya volunteered for the task. The journey to Mordor would be more treacherous than any other, for Sauron's lingering influence was still felt across Middle-earth. Despite the risk, the trio set out, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of what awaited them. Through the desolate lands, they discovered they were being hunted by a new and terrifying foe, fallen souls resurrected by dark magic. These creatures were swift as the wind and nearly impossible to kill. Yet, the trio's strength lay not only in their individual skill, but in their bond of friendship. Using clever traps and strategies, they managed to evade their pursuers, but each encounter left them more exhausted and wary. One day, Arya was struck by a curse from one of the fallen souls. Her life force began to fade rapidly, and only a crystal from Lothlorien could save her. Elwin and Bruno risked their lives to infiltrate enemy territory, retrieve the crystal, and save Arya just in time. This act of selflessness strengthened their resolve, and they pressed on toward Mount Doom. Finally, they reached the fiery chasm of Mount Doom. Elwin felt the shard's temptation more intensely than ever. The whispers had turned into roars, as though the very shard was alive, yearning to merge with him. But just as the darkness threatened to overwhelm him, Bruno and Arya reminded him of their friendship, of the strength they had built together. Together, they had overcome insurmountable odds, and now they had to finish what they had started. With a final mighty act of will, Elwin cast the shard into Mount Doom's fiery depths. The flames roared to life, consuming the shard in a deafening explosion. Dark energy surged into the sky, and the fallen souls disintegrated into ash. The remnants of Sauron's power were finally, utterly destroyed. They returned to Rivendell as heroes, but they knew this victory was but a fleeting moment in the vast history of Middle-earth. Elwin chose to remain a ranger, safeguarding the peace of the land he loved. Bruno returned to the Dwarven Kingdom to rebuild the mines damaged by the dark forces. Arya, her task completed, returned to Lothlorien to protect her homeland. Though their story had ended, their courage and friendship would forever be etched into the legends of Middle-earth. And as the stars shone brightly above, a new chapter began, one of hope and resilience, where the darkness had been vanquished, but the light of their courage would never fade.